Shrishan. Ausukya Maharatadam Jaganayo Apurva Vaityaya Namastu Tasme. Om Dam Dhanvantari Namah. Seeking blessings from the Lord Dhanvantari, as well as all my teachers who made me to speak in front of you today. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Pavan sir, Dr. Atul sir, Ganesh, and all the friends, Dr. Prashant Deshmukh, all the friends of our academy for giving me an opportunity, another opportunity to share my view. And at the same time, I should remember my colleagues for encouraging and supporting me in my career as a teacher, as a guide, as a practitioner. And especially my special thanks to my HOD, Dr. Nagaraj, an innovative teacher, and is the very key person who constantly motivates all the teachers, not only department, all the departments.
Video mute.
Right. Thank you. With this, let me begin with my presentation. Now you can see an image showing an elephant and few men. And this is all about Etat Hasti Darshana Iva Jatyandaha. This is basically from Shankaracharya. Of course, before that only, this particular, this is a very popular story, as well as a parable of ancient India. There is a mentioning of this particular quote in Rigveda also, as per Wikipedia, I don't know exactly, and which has discussed in many various philosophical sciences. That is in Hindu philosophy, Jain philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. This story is repeatedly used to explain some of the things. And it's a story of a group of blind men who have never come across an elephant before, and who learn and conceptualize what the elephant is like. What the elephant is like by touching. Each blind man feels a different part of elephant's body, but only one part, such as ears, tusk, the trunk, the legs, the sides, and so on. They then describe the elephant based on their limited experience, and their descriptions of the elephant are different from each other. And in Ayurveda, this is one particular topic. Basti is one such topic which is hardly spoken, and they discussed in the various platforms. Basti and Mutragata, hardly spoken. And the topic is such that it is just like an elephant, and we people are like a blind men of this story. And this is also my attempt is also like a blind man. And I believe individual truth may be partially true, but not ultimate truth. There might be some facts to what somebody says. We might not agree with it at first because we have our own reasons. But what we think might not be the absolute truth. So with this background, let me start the topic, Basti and Mutragata, an insight. Before speaking about Basti and Mutragata, I feel it is better I recollect some of the information from the digestion itself. So I started with Annakitta because the topic is Basti. So Annakitta. So regarding the digestion and the formation of Annakitta, there are some information, some physiological understanding that we need to recollect. And we know that the digestive system, we have the doshas, and Pachaka Pitta is a main dosha, and we know that yatra yad amapakvashaya madhyastam panchamahabhuta bhutatmakatve api tejo guna utkarshat shapita soma gunam tatascha त्यक्त द्रव स्वभावम सहकारी कारणैर वायुर क्लेदादिभिर अनुग्रहात् दहन पचनादि क्रियाया लब्धाग्नि शब्दः पित्तम अन्नम पचति. This is all about the digestion, and here he says the Pachaka Pitta is in between the Amapakvashaya. Though it is Panchamahabhutatmaka, it has a Tejo Gunadikya, divide of Soma, Shita Guna, and also Drava Guna. By the influence of Vata, Kshapita, Sahakari, Karanir Vayu, that is why the influence of Vata, we know that it is a Samana Vata, and the Kapha, that is like Kledaka Kapha, the food is, the Pachaka Pitta scorches and digests the food, that is Dahana, Pachana, the Kriya. And of course, we know that Pachaka Pitta is Dravaguna Yukta, and Agni is devoid of Drava. That's a difference between Agni and Pachaka Pitta, that not a issue here. So let me proceed regarding the Pachaka Pitta karma. Then it is said by Vagbhata, Vrata Vagbhata, Sarakitto vibhajati, Shesha anicha Pitta sthanani tatrastamevo anugrahanati. We know that. So now Sarakitto vibhajati. So for me, it is not vibhajana, is not segregation. For me, it is anarasa and kitta is formed. That means the digestion completes. That means the digestion gets completed. And of course, we know that Pachaka Pitta influences all other Pitta as such. Now, at the same time, when we speak about the digestion, Pachaka Pitta comes first, and the very important factor in the digestion is Samanavata. We know that Sweda Dosha Ambovahini Srotamsi Samadhisthita Antaragnescha Parshvastaha Samano Agni Balapradaha. So that is the present bit in the present Samanavata is present in association with the Agni, and it kindles the Agni. And it is related with Sweda Dosha Ambuvahini Srotamsi, and Avrada Vagbhata also says Dosha Mala Shukrartava Ambuva Sroto Vichari. Sroto Vichari. So that is Swedava Shrotas as well as Malava Shrotas. The Annava Shrotas is related with the Swedava Shrotas, Malava Shrotas, Ambuva Shrotas. The very important issue is Ambuva Shrotas also, Doshavaha Shrotas, Shukra Artava Shrotas. And further, the karma of Samanavata is explained by Vrata Vagbhata. He said, Anna Dharana, Pachana, Vivechana, Kitta, Ado Nayana Adikriya. So very beautifully explains Anna Dharana. It holds the food, that how long the food should stay in a particular part of the gastrointestinal tract. That is Dharana. Then Pachana, of course, it facilitates digestion. We know that Pitta, how it can influence Pitta, the Samanavata, how it can influence, we know that. Then here he speaks about Vivechana. Vivechana, in this occasion, it is segregation, that is Sara Kitta separation. And Kitta Adonayana Adikriya, that is nothing but the peristalsis at various, the stomach, intestine, large intestine, small intestine, large intestine, all peristalsis may be varying, but all these activities by Samanavata. That is stomach and intestine, small intestine, not large intestine. Then, of course, if I do not mention about Kledaka Kapha, it may not be fair. Of course, there is nothing much to say. Very important issue is Kleda. It moisturizes the Annasangata, thereby it facilitates the digestion. So this is all about digestion. And once there is a digestion, there is the Sara and Kitta. So then now the topic is Basti and Mudra Gata. So we are supposed to speak about Anna Kitta, that is Kittam Annasya Vinmutram. Whether Charaka missed Sweda, that's a question. Kittam Annasya Vinmutram, why he omitted Sweda? Of course, it's not a missing of Sweda. It is mentioned somewhere else in Samhita, here and there. We know that Sweda Vashrutas is related with the Agnisthana, that is Pakwamasha Pradesha. And it is also said by Dallana in Sushruta Sharira 9, Dve Annavahini Antrashite Nahi Pittashe Rasa Mutra Purisha Bhavena Vipacchamanasya Aharasya Annabhavo Asti. He says Sweda Vashrutas is connected with the Amasha, that is Sweda Dosha Ambu Vahini. Then he says at Amasha, that is Pittasha, includes Pittasha, food is digested and formed into Rasa Bhava, Mutra Bhava, or Purisha Bhava, and not actual Rasa or not actual Mutra or the Purisha. That means at this particular area, Amapakvasha Pradesha, the Anna Rasa is formed. Anna Rasa is formed. And this, such a Rasa will be reaching to the Hridaya. We know that such a Rasa will be reaching to the Hridaya. From Hridaya, it will be carried to Urdhva Dhamani, Tirek Dhamani, Adhoga Dhamani also. And in relation with the Sweda, I think somebody should mute their speaker, I think, right? Oh, done. Right. Now, when we speak about Sweda Vashrutas, Tiryagga, Sampravakshami, Karma, Chasam, Yathayatam. So he speaks about Tiryak Dhamani, that's Sushruta Sharira 9. Tiryak Dhamani, he says it divides, the Tiryak Dhamani, Chaturu Dhamani divides, ultimately becomes Asankhya, and they are in relation with the Romakopa Pratibaddhani. Ultimately, it is linked with the Romakopa, and Yaihi Svedam Abhivahanti, Rasamcha Tarpayanti Antarbahischa. So, Rasa, when reaches the Romakopa, forms actual Sveda. So, in the JAT, in the Amapakvasha Pradesha, it is only the Bhava, that is a Sweda Bhava, that is in the form of Udaka only. But when it reaches the Romakopa, it becomes Sweda. And it is carried through the Rasa. Okay. And in this particular occasion, he uses the term Swedam, Yaihi Swedam Abhivahanti Rasam Cha Abhitarpayanti Antarbahischa. Bahischa, that is Sweda. Sweda is formed and it is expelled out of the body. That is sweat. And Antar, he says, Abhyanga Parisheka Avagaha Lepana Viryani Antaha Shariram. So, the virya of the external treatments that is taken into the system from the Romakopa itself, and that is added to the Rasa itself. From Rasa, the Sweda is formed. From the virya of the Aushadharava, which is applied to this exterior, the surface of the body is taken into the system. So that is, when Charaka might have missed in the context saying Sweda, but it means it is Rasa, that is Rasa Mutra Purisha Bhavena Vipacchamanasya Aharasya. In that context only, he included Sweda under Rasa itself further. Now, the digestion has occurred. And what is the fate of this particular digested material, that is Annarasa? He says that the Dallana says, Amapakvashaye Adunabirevaha Evam Annaraso Vartulikratu. Annarasa is formed at Amapakvashaya Pradesha, that is Adunabi Pradesha. And he says, Evam Annaraso Vartulikratu. Through a circular channels, probably he is referring to the portal veins. In this diagram, we can see circular placement of the portal vein divisions. So the portal vein circular, somewhat circular. That's what he says. Vartulikratu. When you open the abdomen, you will see the portal vein. It is somewhat arranged in a circular manner. Vartulikratu. So this portal vein takes the things, that is segregated Annarasa to the into the system. That is which system he says Rasasthanam cha purete. Of course, he has not mentioned anything about the yakrata of the liver, and instead he said it is taken into Rasasthanasya Puranam. So the Anna Rasa will be reached to the Rasasthana. We know that Rasasthanam cha Radhayam. We know that Rasasthanam cha Radhayam. So in this way, the ingested, the food is digested and the Sarabhaga is taken into system. When it reaches the Radhaya, then only it is Rasa. Till then it is Anna Rasa. And in this way, a segment of Adhoga Damani nourishes the whole body, that is Urdhvaga and Tiryak Damani. Also it is said, Tatascha Urdhvaga Vir Tiryaga Vischa Tatra Tatra Upaniyata iti Sakala Sharira Tarpanam Adhogatanam Eva Karmaha. So it is the Adhogata Damani, that is a part, a segment of Adhogata Damani that takes Anna Rasa and it fills this Rasa in the Rasasthan, that is the Radhaya. And of course, we know that. Then he says, from Radhaya, then from Tat Purnam, Tat Purnam, Cha, Tan Nishpadita Rasa Paramparaya, Na Punat Saksha Deva. Once the Rasa, Anna Rasa reaches the Radhaya, then it is Rasa Paramparaya. We know that Kshiradadi, Kalekapota, Kedara Kulya, all this, Nyaya, and we know I need not elaborate all these things. And so the nourishment, once the Ahara Rasa reaches the Radhaya, then nourishment through the circulation only, that is through the circulation only. And it is na punar saksha deva, it is not the adhogadamani taking everything all over the body. It is not like that. And he says that adhogamatvam evam adhogamatvena urtvagamana abhavat. Wait, once again, sorry. So he says it's a part of adhogadamani which fills the ahara rasa in the radhaya, and thereby it nourishes the whole body. It is not the adhogamani itself carrying to reaching to the urdhvagadamani, tiryagamani. It is not like that. It is the adhogadamani takes the rasa to the radhaya, and thereby from radhaya it is rasa parampara that makes the normal, that maintains the normal functions of the body. Further, now to speak about Anna Kitta, the solid part after the digestion, the Ghana Bhaga of Anna after Paka in Amapakwashantara Pradesha is devoid of Sara, because Sara is taken, Anna Sara is taken into the system. It is devoid of Anna Sara, that Anna Rasa, that Pachanam Pakvam Bhavekta Tasya Asheha Pakwasheha Etena Amasya Pachamanasya Edanantaram Tatra iti Artha Evam Annam Atra Bhavishyataha Kittasya Karanabhutam Pakwahara Vivekajam Ganam Annamivanam Tadapi Dve Eva Vahataha Tad Eva Undukam Praptam Purisham iti Uchati. He is very clear, Sushruta and Dalan is very clear. At the small intestine, Dama Pakwasya Pradesh, small intestine region, it is not the Purisha, Sarakitta Vibhajana means it is not the Purisha proper, rather it is Purisha Bhava, or he says Ganam Annam. That is Pakwahara Vekajam Ganam Annam. That much only. It is not Purisha. But Tadapi Dve Eva Vahata, Tad Eva Undukam Prapta. When such a Gana Anna Bhaga, Pakwahara Vekaja Gana Anna Bhaga, Anna Kitta, when it reaches the Unduka, then only it is called as Purisha. Till then, it is not Purisha. In a similar manner, in the Amashaya, Kittam Annasya, Amapakwasya Pradesha, Kittam Annasya Vinmutram, there is no question of Mutra forming in the Amapakwasyantra Pradesha. It is only Mutra Bhava, it is not the Mutra proper. Then let me focus on the topic, that is how Mutra formed, and also to understand the formation of Mutra, we need to understand Basti itself. As per my understanding of the Samhita, I believe Basti is total urinary system. Now, why I am saying it is Basti is total urinary system, that means the kidney, ureter, bladder and urethra. I have a specific reason for this particular statement. It is said by Sushruta, Nabi Prashta Kati Mushka Buddha Vankshana Shefasam Ekadwara Tanutvako Madhye Basti Adhomukha. The location, the anatomical location of any structure is mentioned by the surrounding structures only. It is superiorly, inferiorly, medially, laterally, like that. That by the surrounding structure, we explain any of the structures. Now here in Sushruta says Nabi Prastha Kati. I would prefer to read it as Nabi Prastha because for me, my understanding says Prastha is such a big organ extend from neck to the tail region. And if you want to specify a portion of Prastha, you need to take the surrounding structure. That's the reason we come across with the description in Vishwachi, Bahu Prashtata Tala Pratyangulinantu Kandara, Bahu Prashtata. So Bahu Prashtata refers to the portion of Prastha that is in relation with the Bahu. Similarly, in the context of Gridrasi, Charaka says Spitpurva Kati Prastha. That means Spitpurva Prastha and Kati Prastha. So Spitpurva Prastha is lumbar region, Kati Prastha is sacral region. And in this context of Basti, Nabi Prastha refers to the upper boundary. The upper boundary, the Prastha is the posterior abdomen wall up till the height of the Nabi area. Probably it is he is referring to the upper lumbar area. And the lower boundary of the system is Kati. The total urinary system lies between this area Nabi Prastha only if you analyze. And Madhya Basti, of course, this in between the Basti is present. And further it is said, Mushka Buddha Vankshana Shefasam Madhya Basti. And now it is, when if you see this image, of course it is this, the Basti, that is whole urinary system is surrounded by Mushka Buddha Vankshana Shefasam. There is no doubt. Further, Ekadwaro Tanutvak. If you consider Basti as whole urinary system, the kidney, ureter, bladder, and urethra, it has only one opening, that is the urethral opening. So that's the reason he is very, very particular. He says where it is Ekadwara and it is Adhomuga undoubtedly. Right? Then further, Sushruta says, Basti Shiraschaiva. Paurusham Rashano Gudaha Ekasambandino Yete Gudasti Vivarashritam. Basti Shiraschaiva Paurusham Rashano Guda. What is this? It is Paurusha and Vrashana is nothing but the part of reproductive system. That is the urinary system, whole urinary system has a relation with the reproductive system. And further he says Gudaha. So urinary system is also related with the rectum and the anus. How? It is, and Sushruta is very clearly mentioned, Ekasambindino, this Paurusha, Vrashana and Guda are all interrelated. They are Ekasambandhi through Gudasti Vivarashritam. What is it? Gudasti Vivarashritam. From Gudasti only the sacral plexus comes out. And sacral plexus along with the lumbar plexus, sacral plexus connected with the lumbar plexus even. So total lumbosacral plexus has a control over the urinary system. That's the reason the Basti refers to kidney, ureter, bladder, and the urethra. Further, Alabu Iva Rupena. What is Alabu? Bottle guard. You have a bottle guard, of course, different types of bottle. Some of them are just like the drinking bottle, and some of them are like old wine bottle. So this is also a bottle here, bottle guard. You can see a bottle guard. And why he used the term bottle guard? Alabu. Alabu Iva Rupena means within the Alabu, it has a hollow and has variable bore at various levels, giving rise a shape of Alabu. That is a funnel-like structure. If you very keenly observe, you can see in the bladder area, you can see it is Alabu-like. And even in the pelvic junction, it is once again like Alabu-like. It's a funnel-like structure. Alabu is funnel-like structure. Alabu Iva Rupena. Further, he says Sirasnayu Parigraha, it is a highly vascular structure. We know that in about 20 minutes, whole blood reaches the kidney and it is perfused in the kidney, and the blood is cleansed. We know that. It is highly vascular structure. He says, Mutrashayo, Maladara, Pranayatanam Uttamam. It is Mutrashaya. Basti is Mutrashaya, where Mutra is formed and collected. That is nothing but kidney and urinary bladder together. And it is Maladara because where Mala is collected, that is the Mutra Mala is collected, that is urinary bladder. and it is pranayatanam uttamam. Uttama pranayatana, that means it is nothing but the kidney. And this is all about the anatomical consideration of Basti, and Basti refers to the kidney, ureter, bladder, and the urethra. And now coming to the functional aspect of Basti. Now, before starting the functional aspect of Basti, I would like to mention one statement. The body has another parallel system where the Sarakitta Vibhajana takes place. And mala is collected, and at a time the mala is expelled. And Sarakitta Vibhajana takes place at Amashaya and Amapakvashaya. And where the mala is collected, that is Pakvashaya. And in this context, Pakvashaya refers to the urinary bladder, and Amashaya refers to the kidney and the ureter. And the ureters. Now, this what Sushruta says, Pakvashaya gatastrata nadyo mutravhastviya tarpayanti sada mutram sarati sagaram yatah. There are two nadi, nadyo, dve nadi. There are two nadi reaching to the Pakvashaya of the Basti. They are nothing but the ureters. Tarpayanti sada mutram sarati sagaram. As and when the urine is formed, urine will be reaching to the sagar, that is the bladder, that is the pakvamala, that is the formed urine is collected. And of course, as I said now, pachanam pakvam bhavektaha tasya ashaya pakvashaya etena amasya pachamanasya tadanantaram tatriyatyartha. The pachamana, the waste kitavaga, where it is collected, it is pakvashaya. So here, Pakvashaya refers to Pakvashaya of the urinary system, Pakvashaya of the Basti. Pakvashaya of the Basti is nothing but the urinary bladders. There is a mistake. There are two more. That's right. Then further, Sushruta continues, and he says, Sukshmatvat na upalabhyante mukani asam sahasrashah nadibir upanitasya mutrasya amashayantaram. He says, Sukshmatvat na upalabhyante mukani asam sahasrasha. What is this Sukshmatvat na upalabhyante? There are innumerable Sukshma nadi that makes the amashaya of the Basti. That's what Sukshmatvat na upalabhyante mukani asam sahasrasha. So this Sukshma nadi is nothing but the collecting ducts. And this collecting ducts together forms a calyceal system in the kidney. So collecting ducts are nothing but Sukshma nadi. This Sukshma nadi is further, he says, Sukshmatvat na upalabhyante mukani asam. These Sukshma nadis are having mukha. What is this mukha? He says, this probably he is referring to the nephron which has a mukha, that is the Bowman's capsule. So he is referring to Sukshma nadi and its mukha, probably collecting duct and the nephrons. Many nephrons are connected to each collecting ducts, and these collecting ducts together forms the calyceal system of the kidney, in the kidney. And these Sukshma nadi, they are so minute, along with its mukha, they are so minute, they are not perceived by the naked eye, that is mukani asam sahasrashah nadi upanitasya mutrasya amashayantaram. So these Sukshma nadi, they are invisible. They are invisible from the naked eye. These Sukshma nadi brings the mutra into the amashaya, that is the empty space of the amashaya. Probably he is referring to the renal pelvis. Further, how the mutra reached there, how the Sukshma nadi could take the mutra, how they could collect the mutra. To this, we have to come back to the digestion. So it is said, Dve annavahini antrashite nahi pittashe rasamutra purishabhavena vipacchamanasya aharasya annabhavo asti. After the digestion of gross food, the drava bhaga contains rasa, udaka, mutra bhaga. It is not the actual rasa, udaka, or mutra as such. Napi toyasya toya bhavana tena toyam atra bhavishato mutrasya karanabhutam pakvahara vekajam dravamayam udakam ivodakam. It is The toya in this, that is the rasa. Rasa means it is ambu, like only, ambu only. So this rasa contains udaka. This toya is not a simple toya. He says, bhavishyato mutrasya karanabhutam. Bhavishyato, he says, tena toyam matra bhavishyato mutrasya karanabhutam. So that's what. There are, these are not actual rasa, udaka or mutra bhava. These are only rasa bhava or mutra bhava or udaka bhava. When such a udaka reaches the basti, then the mutra is formed. He says, that Dalana says, tadapi dve eva vahataha, tad eva udakam basti vivara praptam mutram iti uchate. So such a udaka when reaches the basti, then only the mutra formed. It is not in the Amapakvashantar area that mutra is formed. It is only mutra bhava that is in the udaka form. That is there. And dve evaha, these are dve damani. These dve damani bring this udaka to the basti. Further, how? We know that, as discussed earlier, adoga damani takes anna rasa, that is along with the rasa, this udaka will be going to rasasthana hridaya. And from rasasthana hridaya, vyanena rasadaturhi vikshepochita karmana yugapat sarvoto ajasram vikshipyate sada. So in this context, he says, Vyanavata takes rasadhatu all over the body, thereby maintains the uchita karma of sharira, that is the indriya karma, dhatu karma, upadhatu karma, even ashaya, avayava, everything, even the basti karma also. The basti karma is formation of urine. So that is also maintained by Vyanavata by carrying rasa. What is this rasa? The Chakrapani says, Kimva rasati raso dravadaturuchyate tena rudiradinam dravanam grahanam. So here it refers to rasa raktadi dravadatu is carried from the hridaya by the Vyanavata all over the body, even up to the basti also. And when such a udaka is such a rasa, along with the udaka reaches the basti, then through the damani, then mutra is formed. Now, what is the relation between Sukshma Nadi and that two Dhamani? Regarding this also there is a description in the Sushruta Samhita Nidhanasthana. That is by Dallana. Sukshmatvat na upalabhyanti. This is what we have discussed, nephrons and the collecting duct and nephrons we have discussed. And what regarding this, commentator Dallana says, Mutravahinyo Mooladhamanya dve. Tat shaka bhuta dashada shatada sahasrada cha vibhidyanta iti darshayannaha sukshmatvad. That means there are two mutrava dhamani. They divides and ultimately becomes so sukshma, and they will come to they will be in relation with the sukshmatvaditi. So they will be in an association with the sukshma nadi having mukha, that is the nephron. So the renal artery divides and ultimately becomes efferent and efferent arterioles in a Bowman's capsule. And such a beautiful description is explained in Sushruta and Sushruta Samhita regarding basti. And with this, basti is definitely urinary system as a whole. And from the point of Roganidhana, it is both the nephrology and urology together. And now, then how in Sukshma Nadi, how the mutra is formed? He says, Jagrataha swapatas cheva sa nisyandena puryate amukat salede nastaha parshvebhyaha puryate namaha. That is very clearly mentioned. Mutra, or the actual urine, is formed through the mukha of Sukshma Nadi by filtration process, and this process is a continuous process. And now we know that we have read a modern physics and pathology. Each and every cell there will be formation of water. 24H2OH in there, the Krebs cycle. What about the fluid which is formed in the tissue, each and every cell? For this also there is an answer in Charaka Samhita. Bastistu Thulaguda Mushka Sevani Shukra Mutra Vahinam Nadi Nam Madhya Mutra Adaro Ambuvanam Sarvasrotusam Udadiriva Apaganam Pratishtha. In this occasion he says, Bastistu Ambuvanam Sarvasrotasanam Udadiriva Apaganam. Udade is Sagara. how the river brings the water to the ocean. The similar manner, the water is brought to Basti. The mutra is brought, the kleda is brought to the Basti by Ambuvashrotas, must be from the Ambuvashrotas, from where? Sarvasrotasam. Sarvasrotasam, from Sarvasrotas. What is Sarvasrotas? Yavantaha Purusha, Murtimanta, Bhavishesha, Tavantaha, Srotasam Prakar Vishesha. This is, we know that all Shrotas, all the Paraman is nothing but part of Shrotas itself. That means each and every cell is a part of Shrotas. That means the formed fluid, the kleda, it will be reaching to the Basti through the Ambuvashrotas to the Basti, thereby the urine is formed. And of course, where is the mentioning of kleda formation in each and every cell? Of course, if you go through the Samhita, you will get some clue. Udakam atra rasa kledaha. Eva grashyate pitam va, the color is pitavarna, like that, the dalana. And in Charaka also, shunita kledascha, mamsa kledascha, you will get a description regarding dhatu and its kleda. With this background, let me proceed to the Mutragata proper. The one half of the topic is over. I may require another 50 to 1 hour time. 50 minutes, probably 50 minutes. And as per my understanding of Mutragata is obstructive uropathy as well as nephropathy. And before starting with the Mutragata, we must look into some of the beautiful descriptions quoted by Chakrapani, some from the commentaries by Chakrapani. Yan mutra krichre mutram krichrena vahati. This is very well known. And Mutragate mutram shoshate pratyanyateva. So that is very important to understand Mutragata. So one is mutram shoshate and another is pratihanyate. Either shoshana or pratihanana. So here shoshana refers to the less formation of urine itself. Pratihanyate refers to the obstruction. And now another issue regarding Mutragata, it is said as Mutra dosha by Charaka. And Charaka said it as Mutra dosha, whereas Sushruta termed it as Mutragata, and all other authors said Mutragata only. And regarding this, why Charaka said, what may be the reason why Charaka used the term Mutra dosha instead of Mutragata? Dalana clarifies. Mutragato, Mutra avarodha. By definition, Mutragata means avarodha. But Kechit agata shabdena dustima, natu avaredha. Some scholar doesn't agree this, because they believe it as dushti only. Reason, Mutra shukra, Mutra sadayor, Mutra avarodha asambhava. The type of Mutragata such as Mutra shukra, Mutra shosha and Mutra ukasada, you don't find any sort of avarodha or obstruction. It is beyond obstruction, but it is included under the heading of, it is devoid of obstruction, still it is included under the heading of Mutragata. That's the reason Charaka rightly mentioned it as Mutra dosha. And there is one more observation in relation with the narration of Mutragata or Mutra dosha by authors. Charaka starts the disease Mutra dosha from Mutraukasado, Jataram, Kritsam, like that. Whereas Sushruta ends the Mutragata with the Mutraukasada. This is also very, very significant. As per Charaka, Mutra dosha refers to obstructive uropathy, and that is it is nephropathy secondary to systemic manifestation. Whereas as a surgeon, Sushruta considers obstructive uropathy ultimately resulting to Mutraukasada. That's the reason he mentioned Mutraukasada at the end. So obstructive uropathy ultimately resulting into obstructive nephropathy. That's the reason Sushruta mentioned at the end in the context of Mutragata. So with this, let me proceed. The first one is Mutraukasada. Mutraukasada term refers to anuria. So anuria is usually seen in case of renal failure. So as per Charaka, now there is difference in understanding. Just now I said about the difference in understanding the Samprapti itself. As per Charaka, Charaka says, Pittam kafo dvavapi va pasto samhanyate yada marutena tada mutram raktam pitam ganam sraje sadaham shweta sandram va sarver va lakshanerutam. So like this Charaka says, Prita shleshma harer charet. In this context, Chakrapani says, Atra vayur avarnakrita eva kopaha tena pitta kafayore vachikissokta pitta shleshma harer jayet ityanena vayastu avarna jaya deva jayo bhavati iti bhavaha. So here, Mutraukasada is a disease manifested by Marga Varnatu Vata dosha by Pitta or Kapha dosha. And the manifestation is Raktam Pitam Ganam Sraje Sadaham Shweta Sandram Va, that is renal failure marked with anuria and high colored urine and casts and sediments. And coming to the causative factors, Pitta and Kapha is the primary causes resulting in Mutraukasada. That causes Margavana to Pitta, Pitta or Kapha is causing Margavana to Vata at Basti. That is probably is referring to the Pittaja Vikara such as acute glomerulonephritis, nephrotic syndrome, and Kaphaja Vikara such as renal artery stenosis. Further, as per Sushruta, it is just a Mutraukasada at the end of the Mutra Gata, probably referring to Mutra, the renal failure, that is obstructive nephropathy. And it is once again here also clinical features are same. Vishadam, Pitakam, Mutram, Sadaham, Bahalam, Tata, Shushkam, Bhavati, Chapi, Ochan. This particular description, you know that. So high colored urine with casts and sediments, and it is obstructive uropathy leading to obstructive nephropathy. So let me proceed with the next topic. Next disease under the Mutra Gata is Mutra Kshaya or oliguria or renal failure. Kshaya, the term Kshaya refers to the oliguria, that is Mutra Shoshana. The description says by Charaka says Mutre Shushyati, Mutram Sankshayam. The effect is the oliguria. Why oliguria? Of course, one is oliguria, and second is Sadaha Vedanam. The other manifestation is dysuria. Oliguria and dysuria is the commonest manifestation. And the reason for the Mutra Kshaya as per Sushruta is Rukshasya Klanta Dehasya. Now we need to understand what is Ruksha Deha, what is Klanta Deha. Ruksha eating, Ruksha Ahara causes Rukshana. No, it is not said like that. Ruksha Deha refers to a chronic debilitating disease. A person suffering from a disease is likely, a chronic debilitating disease is likely to develop renal damage, CKD, chronic kidney disease. Similarly, a Klanta Deha, acute fulminating diseases. A Ruksha Deha, that is chronic debilitating disease such as diabetes mellitus, hypertension, etc., where in the context of Prameha, Mutrecha, Mutra Doshan, the Pura Rupa itself mentioned by Charaka, and Shonita Dushti, that is hypertension, that is one of the manifestations is Mada in the renal failure, that is Yascha Madhyakratha Prokto Vishajoro Dirachaya Sarva Eve Madanarte Vata Pitta Kafastreya. And Klanta Deha refers to acute fulminating illness such as septicemia. And in case of septicemia, there is the rise the creatinine and all we usually see. And this particular description is also mentioned under the heading of that Mutra Kshaya by Charaka as well as Sushruta. And this particular the description of septicemia, we need to search in Abhyantara Visarpa. Abhyantara Visarpa refers to the septicemia, marmopagata, sammohat, ainanam cha vigattanat, ainanam cha vigatta, multiple shrotas affected. In septicemia, we write LFT, RFT, everything. We will find a symptom where we will find the parameters, change the parameters. So this particular thing is very clearly mentioned as Klanta Deha, resulting in Mutra Kshaya. And apart from this, Prameha Upadrava, There also Pidaka Upadrava, it is mentioned, Marma Samrodha, Charaka Sutra, there, Trishna, Shwasa, Mamsa Samkotha, Moha Hikka, Madajwaraha, Visarpamam, Marma Samrodha. This is also septicemic condition explained by Charaka, both this description from Charaka. The next condition in Mutra Gatha is Mutra Shukra, as per Charaka, as per Sushruta, and Mutra Prichra by Charaka. Of course, better nomenclature is always Mutra Shukra. And Mutra Shukra is nothing but retrograde ejaculation or dry orgasm. And this particular, the manifestation, Tasya Mutra Yutam Retaha Sahasa Sampravartate Purastwadva Api Mutrasya Paschadva Api Kadachana. That is dry ejaculation. No doubt. Vata Uddatam, Vata dosha is responsible for this. And if you look into the ejaculation and the particularly retrograde ejaculation, during ejaculation process, opening of the bladder neck doesn't closes. That results in retrograde ejaculation. So this causes semen to go back into the urinary bladder. Closure of the bladder neck and seminal emission are initiated via sympathetic nervous system from the lumbar sympathetic ganglia and subsequently hypogastric nerve. Prostatic and seminal vesicle secretions, as well as contraction of the bulbocavernosal and ischiocavernosal and the pelvic floor muscles are initiated by S2 to S4 parasympathetic nervous system via the pelvic nerves. That's the reason it is said, Eka Sambandhino Yete Godasti Vivarashtritam, and it is Vatoddatam. So this particular condition is Vata dosha is responsible for this, and Mutra Shukra is because of Eka Sambandhino Yete. They are related with this particular, the Mutra Vashrutas and the Shukra Vashrutas, they are related by this particular the nervous system, and any abnormality resulting into this. Then coming to Ushnavata, that is urinary tract infections. Here the cloudy urine is the characteristic feature. Cloudy urine and our blood mixed urine with dysuria is characteristic feature. Raktapitakam or Mutram Haritam Matava Saraktam Raktamevava. And Krichrat Basti Upasta Artidahavan. Krichran Pravartate. Basti Medram Gudancheva Pradahan Srave Tadha. All these particular features definitely points toward urinary tract infection, and here in this context, urinary tract infection refers to infection anywhere in the renal pelvis or in the ureter or maybe the bladder or the urethra, sacro-ureteric reflex, and thereby ascending infection. We all know that, and I need not elaborate. I will switch over to next conditions. That is Vidvigata. Vidvigata is nothing but vesico-enteric fistula. So here the manifestation, the fecal material mixed with the urine. So Shakrudyada mutrasrotaha prapadyetaha vid samsrishta tadanaraha vid gandham mutrets. So that feces mixed urine, one of the manifestation. The second manifestation, Krichrat pravartata, that is dysuria. Dysuria as well as feces mixed urine. These are characteristic features of vesico-enteric fistula. Okay, and when we look into vesico-enteric fistula, there are four types: colovesical, rectovesical, idiovesical, appendico-vesical, and based on bowel segment involvement, only nothing great in that. And the causes of vesico-enteric fistula, incomplete separation of two systems during embryonic development, that is failure of urorectal septum to divide the common cloaca. Common cloaca is divided into uro and rectal septum. So that doesn't take place in the embryonic life itself. That is one important cause. That is by birth only. Then the other causes are infection, inflammatory bowel diseases, malignancies, the trauma, foreign body, then iatrogenic causes such as the postoperative, that is presenting either postoperatively or as a treatment complications. After surgery, it is possible. What is the reason for this particular Vidvigata? Vidvigata is mentioned by Charaka. And he says, Ruksha Durbalayor Vatenudavratam Shakridyada. He says that he quotes two important reasons. One is Ruksha Durbalayor. As we discussed, Ruksha is chronic debilitating disease. Probably he's referring to the infective disease, inflammatory bowel conditions, bowel disorders, or the malignancies. And Durbala, then the another condition cause he says Durbala. Who is Durbala? It is mentioned by Sushruta Daurbalyantu Swabhava Dosha Jaradivir Avekshitavyam. Swabhava is embryonic, the failure of the as we have seen, the failure of the urorectal septum to divide into common cloaca, that is Swabhava Daurbalya. Or dosha, that is dosha is acquired reasons. We know that different causes, infective, inflammatory condition, all other conditions. So this particular Nidana Ruksha Durbala Yoru Vate Nudavrattam Shakridya, that is vesico-enteric fistula. With this, it is very clear, it seems. I think there is no doubt regarding this particular aspect. And you have the image and the X-ray. The next condition is Mutrotsanga, or urethral stricture. The common presentation of urethral stricture includes the mainly two. One is obstructive voiding symptom. The second is urinary tract infections. Because of the stasis, there is infection. So one is infective, that is the urinary tract infection, and the another is obstructive voiding symptoms. Obstructive voiding symptoms could be decreased force of stream, that is Ravet Paschat Kutva Atha. Or it could be incomplete emptying of bladder, that is Kinchit Tishtamcha. Kinchin mutram tatishthati, or urinary retention, that is mutram pravrattam sajjetam, or urinary terminal dripping manisando sravet, and urinary intermittency, that is sravet shanir alpalpam, that is urinary intermittency. All these descriptions mentioned by Charaka and Sushruta definitely pointing towards urethral strictures only. And the other manifestation is urinary tract infection, Chati Ruk, dysuria is also mentioned. Saraktam vaha pravahata, saraktam vaha pravahata. Once again, ustamata-like manifestation. So that is a urethral stricture. And the cause, as per Samhita, Kave Gunyat, Anilakshepo, Kinchit Tishtanta. And Kave Gunya, which Pradesh, which area, location of Kave Gunya? He says, Bastova, Atava, Nalo, Manosa. Manova Yasya Dehinaha. That is, Kave Gunya is the cause for clinical feature, and Sotavagina either at bladder neck or urethra or at the urethral orifice. Urethral strictures arise from various causes and can result in range of manifestation. Then the next important condition is neurogenic bladder or Mutratita. This is very important description. Very interesting description given by Sushruta. Mutra atitantu tam vidyat mutra vega vigathajam. Mutra vega vigatha, obstruction. Obstruction to mutra vega is the cause for any reason. Obstruction to mutra vega, that is, results in neurogenic bladder as per Samhita. And if you look into the causative factors, tasya nabhyeti yadiva Katanchit sam pravartate pravahato mandarujam alpalpam punaha punah. These are all abhava only. Either these or this or this. Now, if you analyze these particular two lines, one manifestation is tasya na peti. That means urine is not passed, retention of urine. Or the another possibility is katanchit sam pravartate. That is infrequent voiding of large residual urine. When the patient tries to void urine, no, he cannot. But spontaneously, sometimes whole bladder is emptied. That is katanchit sampravartane. Then another manifestation is pravahato mandarujam alpalpam punaha punah. That is incontinence. That is incontinence of urine. So there are three presentations of mutra theta. And these three presentations, even today under the heading of neurogenic bladder, it is mentioned. And retention of urine is also called as areflexic or autonomous or flaccid or LMN variety. And incontinence of urine, that is the reflexic or spastic, uninhibited or UMN variety. And infrequent voiding of large residual volumes, sensory pathology, sensory system pathology. That is autonomic nervous system pathology. Now here, if you look into the further elaborate with the present day understanding, Tasya nabhyeti, that means retention of urine, air flexic autonomous flaccid element, so usually seen in lower motor neuron lesions caused by trauma involving S2 to S4 area. Lesions of cauda equina, pelvic nerves, and pravahato mandarujam alpalpam punaha punaha, that is incontinence of urine, that is seen in case of corticospinal tract lesions observed in spinal cord injuries, stroke, multiple sclerosis, brain tumor, and brain the trauma, head injuries. Then katanchit sampravartate, infrequent voiding of large decidual urine, that is sensory, that is a damage to the sensory limb of bladder spinal reflex arc, seen in multiple sclerosis and diabetes mellitus. So this is nothing but Mutratita is nothing but neurogenic bladder. So the three different presentation. It is not in a single case, in different cases. Collectively, it is called as Mutratita. Then Mutra Jatara refers to the acute retention of urine. Mutra Jatara is acute retention. The reason is caused due to the obstruction in the distal part of the Shrotas, Vidyad Adaha Srota Nirodhana, and results in acute retention with the severe distress, tad animitta ruk, apakti mutra vitsanghe or nabir adastat admanam janayet tivra vedanam. Then Vigata refers to here, Vigata refers to this mutrasya vihate vegi, mutrasya vihate means vihata refers to strike. For any reason, if urine is blocked, urine flow is blocked, so then it results in acute retention and clinically distension of abdomen below the umbilicus, and patient will be in distress. Apanha kupito vayur udaram pured brasham nabe ratastat admanam janayet tivra vedanam tam mutra jatram vidyad adah sruta nirodhana. So this is what Sushruta. Then coming to Vata Basti. Vata Basti is nothing but chronic urinary retention. And this particular condition is because of, once again, it is a retention, it is obstruction, urinary obstruction, distal part of the system. Nirunaddi mukam tasya. We know Adho Mukam, Basti has Adho Mukha. So the distal part of the system. If there is any pathology that causes urinary obstruction in the distal part of the system, then may result in Vata Basti. And the manifestation is Basti Kuksini Pidanaha, dull pain or discomfort. Unlike the Tivra Vedana that is not seen in Mutra Jatara, where Tivra Vedana is observed in this condition, it is not so. It is dull pain or sort of discomfort only, and may lead to complication and hence difficult clinical condition, that is Vyadhikricha Prasadana. To further elaborate, the chronic retention of urine, chronic urinary retention, a non-painful bladder which remains palpable or percussible after the patient has passed urine. And the term chronic urinary retention implies a significant residual urine. A minimum figure of 300 ml has been mentioned. That is Mutra Sango Bhavettena. That is around 300 ml always will be there even after passing urine. And chronic urinary retention may occur due to detrusor underactivity or detrusor overactivity with the impaired contractility, or neurogenic bladder conditions, or bladder outlet obstruction, BOO, popularly called as BOO in urology. That's what Nirunati Mukam Tasya Basti Basti Gato Anilaha. Mukha, all this pathology, detrusor, all this, whatever I am saying, it is Nirunati Mukam Tasya Basti Basti Gato Anilaha. And Vyadhikricha Prasadana, chronic urinary retention may often associated with so many complications, difficult. Lutz, lower urinary tract symptoms, one of the common manifestation, lower urinary tract symptoms in the form of infection or so. Then urinary infection, bladder stones, and elevated intravesicular pressure may lead to hydronephrosis and even the vesico-ureteric reflex and pyelonephritis, renal failure. All these things can occur. All this can occur. That's the reason it is Vyadikricha prasadana. Then coming to Vatastila. Mass in the rectovesicular pouch. Why it is rectovesicular pouch? Basti gudam rudva. Charaka says Basti gudam rudva. But Sushruta has elaborated. Sushruta says Shakran margasya bastescha Vayur antaram ashritaha. That is, it is Shakran margasya bastescha Vayur antaram ashritaha. That is in between the Shakrit marga and Basti marga. That is, but that means rectovesicular pouch only. That means rectovesicular pouch only. Ashtila vaddanam granthim karoti achalam unnatam. So there will be formation of hard, firm and non-progressive huge mass. And it causes obstruction to both bowel and bladder. Mutra vind marga rodini. Vind mutra anila sangascha. Distension of bowel and bladder. Admapayan tatra admapanam chajayate. And pain abdomen is one of the cardinal features. Kurya tivrarthir. Vedana cha paro bastu. So this is nothing but the mass in the rectovesicular pouch. Further, if you go through the descriptions of literatures pertaining to the rectovesicular pouch mass, it could be because of two reasons. One is intraperitoneal or the peritoneal tumors. Intraperitoneal masses are usually neoplastic origin, generally metastasis. And peritoneal tumors may be cystic or solid, as mentioned in this particular slide. Let me move on to the next slide because of the time factor. And the mass in the rectovesicular pouch can produce varied symptoms in various clinical situations. May not be same in each and every person. That's the reason the literature says a typical clinical feature include abdominal distension, discomfort, pain or weight loss accompanied by gastrointestinal or gastrourinary complications such as constipation, intestinal obstruction, umbilical hernia, urinary retention, and dysuria. Some patients may present with acute abdominal pain, incapacitating the ability to walk upright. So that's what that is also mentioned. Physical examination may be an ill-defined, palpable, hard abdominal mass which may be tender. So that is if you look into these manifestation and vind mutra anila sangascha tatra admanam chajayate vedana cha paro basto vatastila vatastileti tamvido. So definitely holds good. Then coming to rakta granthi and mutra granthi. Rakta Granthi or Mutra Granthi, both are same. Rakta Granthi is the term given by Charaka and Mutra Granthi by Sushruta. And it is also a Granthi, mass in the bladder neck region, Basti Dware or Abhyantare, Basti Mukhe, Abhyantare, Basti Mukha iti, Basti Dwarasya Abhyantare iti artha. And the mass is Vratto Alpastira Evacha. The mass is circular, hard, firm, and immobile. Then it causes partial obstruction for flow of urine. Krichrena srajet mutam tadavratam mutra marga nirodhacham. So it is going to obstruct partially or complete the urinary flow. Then pain abdomen is one of the cardinal features. That's what he says. Ashmari samashulam. Or Sushruta very clearly says Ashmari Lakshanam instead of saying Ashmari Samashula. Ashmari Samashula is mentioned by Charaka, whereas Sushruta very clearly mentioned Ashmari Lakshanam. The features of Ashmari, not Shula, only other features also we need to consider. That is very important for us. Then difficult for management. This condition is Sudaruna. It is Sudaruna. It is difficult. And Mutra Granthi and Rakta Granthi are one and the same. It is accepted by Dallana that Mutra Grantho to Tantrantare Darshanat Rakta Sambandho iti jnayam. So Dallana says Mutra Granthi is also because of Rakta. So that's like Charaka only, Raktam Vataka Fadustam, same only. So Vata Kapha are the main dosha involved responsible for Mutra Granthi or Rakta Granthi, and Rakta is the primary dosha. Then, coming to the symptoms, he says Ashmari Samashula. And Ashmari Samashulam, why we want Ashmari Samashulam? The elaboration he has not done, he has considered. You need to understand, you need to read Ashmari. What is Ashmari Lakshana? Jayate Sahasa Yasya Grantari Ashmari Lakshana. Grantir Ashmari Lakshana. So Ashmari Lakshana, what are the Lakshanas of Ashmari? He says, Nani Basti Sevani Mehaneshu Anyatasmin Mehate Vedana. That is irritative bladder symptoms, dysuria, urgency, frequency of maturation in about 20 to 30% of cases. Sarudira Mutrata, approximately 80 to 90% of the patient will have painless gross hematuria. That is Sarudira Mutrata. Then obstructive manifestation if occupies at the bladder neck, that is Mutradharo Sangha, if it at the bladder neck area, then definitely obstructive manifestation. If this Granthi is exactly over the bladder neck area, then Mutradhara Sangha, that is also possible. In the pre-PSA era, we do nowadays prostate-specific antigen. So pre-PSA era, the common presentation of prostatic malignancy are urinary complaints, retention of urine, hematuria, of course, back pain, of course, that description is not there. Then, and if you look into this Rakta Granthi, immediately you need to think of Granthi Visarpa mentioned by Charaka. Granthi Visarpa is a disease probably referring to the internal malignancy, all internal malignancy. And in the Samprapti of Granthi Visarpa, it is said that Shleshma Vayuscha Pragopama Padyante. And he further says, Utsan Raktasyava Pradushya Raktam. Same Vata Kapha and Rakta causes Granthi Visarpa. And here in the context of Rakta Granthi, Charaka very clearly said, Raktam Vata Kapha Dustam. Only specifically if Granthi Visarpa occurs in the Basti, then it is called as Rakta Granthi. Otherwise it is Granthi Visarpa only. It's a variant of Granthi Visarpa. Granthi Visarpa is also difficult. It is said that Tadu Upatapa Jwara Atisara Kasa Hikka Shwasa Shosha Pramoha Vaivarnya Arochaka, Avipaka, Praseka, Chardi, Murcha, Angabanga. So if you look into these manifestations, so the multi-system involvement, the respiratory manifestation, malignancy of respiratory system, then nervous system, GAT, everything is the Lakshanas. Okay. Then Pradurubhavam Bhavati. Then he says, Sa Eteru Padruta Sarva Karmana Vishayam Atipratito Vivarjaniya. If at all there is internal malignancy of Vivarjaniya, that condition is asadhya. Granthi Visarpa is also sudaruna. It is also difficult. So it is probably malignant tumor of bladder neck. Then last two conditions. So I believe I will be able to complete by 2:35. One is Vata Kundala. Vata Kundala is nothing but bladder diverticulosis. It is characterized by formation of Kundala. Kundala means ring-like structure or diverticulum. It is said Kundali Vayur Bhagna Vyavidya Kundali or Kundali Kratha. Shrishta says. What is Kundali? Abhyantaram Ashita iti Basti Madhyam Ashita iti Artha Kundali Kratha iti Kundala Kritya Vartuli Vrutha. Nothing but diverticulum. In the bladder it occurs. Further, the causes of bladder diverticulum, as per the Samhita, as per the Sushruta, he says, Raukshat Vega Vigata Dva. And Charaka says, Gati Sangat Udavratha Mutrasthana Margayoho. Gati Sangha means Vega Vigata only. If any reason, obstructive uropathy, chronic obstructive uropathy, or Rauksha, that is chronic debilitating disorders. If you go to the literature of bladder diverticulosis, the causes of bladder diverticulosis, Raukshat, neurogenic bladder, that is the multiple sclerosis, diabetes, Parkinson's disease, patients tend to develop bladder diverticulum. Or the obstructive uropathy is also a cause, bladder neck obstruction, posterior urethral walls, enlarged prostate, urethral strictures, large ureter seal. These are the causes. Then often bladder diverticulosis, no symptoms, often no symptoms, and are incidentally detected when evaluated for the following features. Generally, patients do not come with that diverticulosis like specifically doesn't have a manifestation. Rather, its presence can produce several manifestations. And those manifestations are mentioned by Charaka as well as Susruta. So they are recurrent urinary tract infections due to urinary stagnation in the pouch, that is Tivarux, Rajed, Alpalpam, Sarojaskam, Shani, lower abdominal fullness, Gaurava, Vestane, pain abdomen, pain and discomfort in lower abdominal area. Then difficulty in passing urine, chronic hydroureter and hydronephrosis, vesico-ureteric reflex, mutra vihanti, that is reflex. Then mutra vitsangescha, that is difficulty in passing urine as well as bowel also. Pain and fever due to inflammation of the diverticulum, that is diverticulitis, that is Samba Banga. Then stones in the bladder, of course, such a manifestation is not mentioned in our text. Blood in the urine is once again not mentioned. Of course, this condition, once again, Sudharana, probably the malignancies, bladder neck malignancies are also the cause for bladder diverticulum. So probably this condition is also very difficult. And this is about the bladder diverticulosis. The next condition, that is Vata Kundali. Another 7 minutes, probably. Right, Vata Kundali. Vata Kundali. Right? No, sorry. Vata Kundali and Vata. Now that is one more, of course. Before that, Vata Kundali. Sorry, Basti Kundali. Let me speak about Vata Kundali and Vata Gulma. Now there is a similarity between Vata Kundali and Gulma. What is Vata Gulma? What is Gulma? Paripindita, Pinditascha avatisthate sa pinditatvad Gulma ityabhidiyate, very definition. Pindita iti kundali bhutha. We know that kundali means vartali. It is once again a diverticulum. Pindita iti kundali bhutha. That is vartuli bhutha. So Vata Gulmasya tu Bastirapi sthanam bhavati ata eva atra samanyena mahasroto iti kratha mahasroto granena cha bastirapi grahyate. So like this, the description is there. If diverticulum occurs in the urinary system, parallel system, urinary system, then it is bladder diverticulum, that is Pakvashaya of the Basti only. Pakvashaya of the Basti only. Or if it occurs in the large intestine, usually diverticulosis is in the intestine, usually large intestine. So that is diverticulosis of intestine, that is Vata Gulma, and diverticulosis of bladder is Vata Kundali. So this is in relation. In specific, if it occurs in the Mudravashrotas, it is called as Vata Kundali. If it occurs in the Annavashrotas and Purishavashrotas, it is, or Mahashrotas in general, it is called as Vata Gulma. Further, Basti Kundala. Basti Kundala is one big topic, very difficult to understand. Even then, I believe it is lower urinary tract symptoms, LUTS, popularly known as LUTS in the urology. Lower urinary tract symptoms. LUTS comprises two manifestations. One is obstructive symptoms, another is irritative symptoms. And obstructive symptoms could be hesitancy, poor flow, intermittent strain, dribbling, sense of incomplete evacuation, episodes of mere retention. And irritative symptoms usually refers to the frequency, nocturia, urgency, urgent continence, enuresis. And if you look into the lakshana of Basti Kundala, that is Shula Spandana Daharto, Bindu Sravatyapi, that is irritative symptom, Piditatu Srajedwaram, Samstam Dveshta Arthiman, that is probably obstructive symptoms. And further, generally LUTS in the men is the result of bladder outlet obstruction associated with prostate enlargement. That is swasthanat, udvrattam, stulam, tishtati, garbhavat, that bladder outlet obstruction. Then it is also said that avibranta bilaha means obstruction. Avibrantam iti avaruddha dwara. Avaruddha Dwara. If Ruddha Dwara, that is the cause. Ruddha Dwara, obstruction, bladder outlet obstruction is the cause for Basti Kundali, and the cause for Lutz, once again, bladder outlet obstruction. The differential diagnosis of Lutz in the aging male population includes both urological and neurological conditions. They are Parkinson's disease, cerebrovascular accidents, diabetes mellitus, congestive heart failure, bladder cancer, prostate cancer, urinary tract infection, overactive bladder, urethral strictures, bladder neck hypertrophy may all cause Lutz identical to BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Now, it is said in the context of Basti Kundala, Pavana Prabalaha Prayo Durnivaraha Buddhiman. If Vatadosha Adhikya is a cause, then Durnivara, it is not curable. Now, if you look into this, Vata Pradhana causes such as Parkinson's disease, cerebrovascular causes, overactive bladder, diabetes mellitus, etc., causes Lutz with retention of urine and are asadhya. And it is also said, Sleshmaridda below Basti, Pitto Dirnanas Siddhyati. If Pittanvita or Kafanvita Basti Kundala, such as recurrent urinary tract infection, bladder malignancy, prostate malignancy, are also asadhya. Then it is said that Avibranta Balha Sadhya, the Avibranta Bilha Sadhya. If there is no obstruction, then it is sadhya. And that means if there is obstruction, it is asadhya. If there is obstruction to the urinary flow at the bladder neck region, such as prostatic hyperplasia, urethral strictures, etc., then Basti Kundala is asadhya. Natu yaha kundali krata. If there is formed kundali in the Basti, that is bladder diverticulum, then also Basti Kundala is asadhya. So with this, I will stop my deliberations. Thank you for giving an opportunity, the second opportunity. And I am very much thankful to the Academy, all the office bearers, and Pawan Kumar sir, and Atul sir, Ganesh sir, all the members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's not an opportunity for you. It's a great opportunity for us to hear you here. Your lecture is just like, sir, we think it cannot stop. We will not like to stop it. But sometimes time permits, not permits, and sometimes internet speed is also not permits us. With due respect of Atul sir and Parameshwar Badgi sir, I want some, if there is any question or any inputs from all the members present here. If anyone wants to input some. Otherwise, Parameshwar Badgi sir.
Prashant,
give your input, sir.
Okay. Dr. Prasanna Mogasale, thank you for delivering a wonderful lecture. Even then, it is a lunch time for all of us. I think sometimes Agni is disturbing many of the people. So even then, you tried your level best to incorporate the Mutra Dosha, and along with that, you tried to cover the basic anatomy of the Mutra Gata and related to the structures of the Mutra Vasrotas. And then along with that, you also try to describe the what are the fundamental doshas involved in the process of elimination of the Mutra. And so it was an very important contribution you made from starting anatomy to that of the physiology to that of the pathology. And you also try to correlate the concept of Ayurveda diseases with that of the modern counterpart correlation. So even then, there are certain diseases which are till date, it's very, very difficult to correlate in terms of modern correlations Dr. Prasanna has also rightly pointed out. The word Mutragata, it's very difficult to say in certain conditions. So, but you may not get the obstruction pathology there, but the patients might be experiencing the signs and symptoms which indicates that there is some sort of obstruction. There is no, the patient experiences or patient comes with a clinical presentation stating that, so I am not finding it comfortable to pass my urine freely. So that kind of presentation sometimes also comes out of that. There may not be any, if you investigate all the cases, you may not get any of the abnormalities as the case in case of irritable bowel syndrome. So you may not get any of the, all the investigations might seems to be normal. The same is the case with the Vata Kundalika and other conditions. So it's very, very difficult to say some of the conditions based on the physical structural abnormality. There may not be any structural findings, but there may be some minute variations or vitiation is existing. That's the reason Charaka has rightly pointed out, instead of saying it as Mutra Gata, I appreciate the word Mutra Dosha. That was the reason Mutricha Mutra Doshan. So that was also told in context to the Prameha also. So he used the word Mutra Doshan there also. He has not used the word, so that was the reason, because most of the diabetic mellitus patients will end up with the opportunistic infections, especially the very common is the urinary tract infection is one among them. So that was the reason Mutricha Mutra Doshan was used by both Charaka and Susruta in context to the Prameha Roga. So I congratulate Dr. Prasanna for highlighting the concept of Mutra, understanding of the diseases of the Mutra, Vikaras, from starting from anatomy to that of the physiology to that of the pathogenesis to the diagnostic level. So thank you very much, and we expect your cooperation for our Roganidhan Association, Roganidhan Parishad in future also. Thank you very much for your sparing valuable time with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prashant, just conclude the lecture and.
Yes, sir. Due to some prior commitments, respected Pawan sir and respected Atul sir couldn't join here. Atul sir has been joined for some while, and then he messaged me he can't continue. So thank you very much, respected Prasanna Mogasale sir, and
thank you.
AC Kar sir, PS Badgi sir, Dipti Mehta ma'am, Anurag Pandey boss, or all the members joining here, and with next month is also my I am as a coordinator of the event, all the lecture series. So all the members joined here are requested to join every Saturday 1 p.m. Thank you very much. With permission of the respected Badgi sir, sir, we can conclude, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.